A tutorial by Learn Fast Studios.
Run. Now, do you observe something? What is happening?
Yes, sir. For every second, a new value is coming.
How the real-time projects will work?
Yes, sir.
Welcome back. In this session, let us learn about classes and objects.
Let us consider one more class, rectangle or data members. Okay. Length and breadth are called as an properties or data members. Okay. And then breadth. Okay. So what are the methods in it? I mean, what are the methods which will be operating over them?
Perimeter Indian.
Methods, or you call them as in behavior. In some cases, services. What are the services? Area, perimeter, right?
Yes,
area is one method, and then perimeter is one method. You can also use some more methods which are called as in getters and then setters. How can you identify them? Set length, get length, set breadth, get breadth. So likewise, you can add some more additional, but these will only operate for setting and then getting the data members. Okay. Now you are supposed to identify what are the data members of the bank account. Okay. Now, suppose this is a bank account. Now identify what are the properties. What are the properties and then data members of the bank account?
Account number, IFSC
Account
code,
number, name, mobile number, other, IFSC code, balance, right? Let us consider minimum. Okay. What are the methods?
deposit money,
Or services, methods, behavior, or services. What are those?
Net banking.
Net banking. You only consider these things, right? You only consider these properties and tell me what can be the behavior or what can be the services that can be provided.
update Aadhaar,
Update
mobile
Aadhaar,
number.
update Aadhaar,
Deposit money.
change mobile number, deposit,
Money.
withdraw,
Transfer.
transfer bank, okay, transfer money, then branch transfer. How you can change the branch? By means of the changing that IFSC code, right?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to identify something that some cases I am writing capitals and then in another cases I am not writing capital letters?
Yes, sir.
Why?
So camel case, sir.
Yes. And then in all these properties are the data members. I am writing everything as in small letters. Why?
Variable names.
Variable names or identifiers are expected to be written in
Small letters.
small letters. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, it is your turn. Identify data members and then methods of the circle. Okay, consider a class as a circle and then identify the data members and then methods in it. And then one more task, consider a class student. Consider the class student and then identify the data members and then methods in it. For the car, you just tell me what can be the data members and then methods.
Company.
Yeah, company name.
Type of car.
Type. Price.
Features.
Mileage. Yeah, features. Any feature can be included, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then What can be the methods included in that? Mostly with these properties, you can only get price, set price, get type, set type, get company name, set company name. Nothing more than that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Suppose it is a general object like in car. What are the general behavior? I mean, what are the different functionalities that we can operate with the car? Apply brakes, increase the speed,
Yes, sir.
isn't it? So if you include I mean speed also as a parameter, then you can perform something like an accelerate, apply brake, which is going to increase or reduce the speed. Suppose you include one more feature called as an gear up, gear down. So you can also have those methods in this class, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So by means of the changing properties, even the behavior is going to change. I mean, behavior with the behavior only we can able to change the properties, isn't it? Normally, the speed will be 0. For example, I use a method called as an accelerate or press accelerate.
The speed increases.
So speed will increase. That means because of this method, this particular property will be affected. Okay?
Yes, sir.
By changing the gear up, gear down, which is going to impact gear.
Yes, sir.
And then this price company name will not vary, right?
Yes, sir.
They will not vary. So most of the times we will only apply get methods for that. Isn't it? Getters and then setters only can be possible for these things, remaining things, right?
Yes, sir.
In these bank account numbers, what are the impact parameters? What are the parameters that will be impacted? See, update other, that means change other, right?
Yes, sir.
Which is impacting on only other. Change mobile number is impacting only on the
Mobile number.
mobile number. Deposit,
Balance.
balance. Withdraw,
Balance.
transfer,
Balance.
balance. Branch transfer,
IFSC.
IFSC code. But whereas an account number and the name are not going to vary, right?
Yes, sir.
So for this account number and the name, you can only use get method as well as in set methods.
Yes, sir.
Remaining things you can, you can use them for making the changes in the existing parameters. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what I mean to say?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, you are supposed to identify what should be the data members and then what should be the methods. Okay. The next thing. I am going to create one class temperature sensor. You just tell me, identify what are the data members for this temperature sensor. What are the data members?
Temperature.
Identify temperature, exactly. Nothing else, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then what can be the methods in this temperature sensor?
Low temperature, high temperature.
No. Temperature sensor, you just think as temperature sensor as an object, general object. for the temperature sensor? You just tell me. Simply set temperature
Get temperature.
and get temperature. Mostly we will be using get temperature and then reset methods. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
For example, you have a temperature sensor in general as a component. You just think of that it is a component. Using the temperature sensor, what are the things that you can obtain? You can read what is the current temperature value, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Consider it as a thermometer. Then you can able to tell me what are the things that you can operate with the thermometer.
High temperature.
No, you can read what is the temperature. Otherwise, you can reset it, isn't it?
Okay, sir.
Only these are the two things that you will be doing with the temperature sensor, right?
Okay, sir.
For example, in the case of the humidity sensor, just tell me. You can also include some more thing in the temperature sensor, like who is a manufacturer, item ID, right? And then price. These things also can be included. But in your day-to-day life, we will be performing only operations with the temperatures, right? Rest of the things we are not going to use them, right? Do you really bother about changing the manufacturer ID and then its price once you purchase it? You never do that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So that is why I just neglected these three things. Otherwise, they will also be part. And then you can also include some more things like color, with which material it has made up of, whether category, whether it is an electronic or digital. Okay, so I can also include them, but for my project, I don't require all these things. I am only concerned about temperature. So in that case, instead of wasting the space, I will only consider this, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For example, I just wanted to develop the library system. Okay.
Now let us try to write one Java program to demonstrate how class and then objects will work, and then to know what is a constructor, how to access the member operators in Java.
Class.
Temperature sensor.
Temperature
Sensor.
sensor. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what are the data members that you have identified? I mean, prime data member. What is the prime data member?
Temperature.
Temperature. It is of which type?
Character.
Temperature will be there
Float.
in the character.
Float.
So float.
Temperature.
Temperature. That's it, right?
Yes, sir.
So I have completed the data member, defining the data member. Now I am supposed to include methods which will impact, right?
Yes, sir.
So what are the methods that I already identified?
Get temperature.
Get temperature and then
Reset temperature.
reset, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
get temperature, that means what it is supposed to do. Get temperature, what does that do? It reads what is the current temperature and then transmit.
Yes,
Isn't
sir.
it?
Yes, sir.
That means it is supposed to return some value, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the return type? Which value it will return? Temperature. Temperature is of which type?
Float.
So float get
Temperature.
temperature. and then it does not require any argument. That's it. And then what is the value that it is returning?
Temperature.
That's it. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Suppose if I want to reset, then what should be the function? Void
Void reset.
reset. And then what am I supposed to do in the reset? Set the temperature to 0.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now make one more point, one more important point, very, very important point. Constructor. Note down. Okay. Constructor. So a constructor is a method which has same name as class name and then does not has any return type and does not have any return type. Okay.
Okay, sir.
It is a method which has
Same name, same class name.
which has same name as class name and it does not have any return
Any
type.
return type.
Okay. And
Yes.
then second property, these constructors are used to initialize data members or parameters. Data members are parameters. Okay.
Okay, sir.
They are used to initialize the data members or parameters. Any doubts, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, for example, I want to create the constructor for the temperature sensor. How can I create? What should be the name of the constructor? Read the first rule. What is the first rule?
Method which has same name as class name.
What is the class name for which we are creating the constructor?
Temperature sensor.
Then what should be the name?
Same temperature.
Temperature sensor.
That's it. Great. So I am supposed to write down like this and then this one. This one is the constructor. Does that have any return type?
No, sir.
Do you understand
Yes, sir.
what I mean to say?
Yes, sir.
So whenever we are having this sort of then temperature sensor, if you want to create the constructor. Now, can you tell me, suppose if I want to create the constructor for the class demo,
Class demos.
simply class demo, opening bracket
Opening,
and then
close
closing
bracket.
bracket.
Yes.
Okay, so that is how we will be creating. And then why do I use this temperature sensor? Why do I use this temperature sensor? Tell me. What is the second rule?
To initialize data member or parameters.
Okay, what is the data member of the temperature sensor?
Temperature.
So I am going to initialize the temp equal to 0.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any doubts, any questions?
No, sir.
Otherwise, okay, I will tell that later. For the time being, you just remember this. Okay. Now, what is an object? Okay. An object is a real world entity. Anything which you can look and feel or which exists physically is called as an object. Then what is a class? Class is a collection of objects or it is a group of objects. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Class is a collection of objects or group of objects, and it can also be called as a template or blueprint. Template or blueprint for the objects. Okay.
Okay, sir.
These are the three important points. Okay. Class is a collection of objects or the group of the objects, and then it is like a template or a blueprint how an object will look like, and then it defines the properties and then behavior of the object. Okay. Now, for example, if you are considering temperature sensor, anything which is supposed to be called as a temperature sensor should have which property? This temperature property. And then what is the behavior or the services offered by this temperature sensor? Get temperature and then reset temperature. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, you consider the bank account. What are the properties of the bank account?
Account number,
Account number, name, mobile number, balance.
Aadhaar number.
And then,
IFSC
and
code.
then what are the services offered by the bank account? Or what is the behavior?
Change account number.
Change account.
Deposition.
Account number will never change. Deposit, withdraw,
Withdraw,
and then
transfer.
Okay, these are the activities that you will be doing, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Similarly, we identified various classes. Don't you? Already we identified various classes in the practice session, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you define all the classes in Java by taking this example? Can you define what can be the class rectangle? Yeah, tell me, how can I define the class rectangle? Class. Class. What should be the class name?
Rectangles.
Rectangle. Open bracket, closing bracket. And then I am supposed to include the data members. What are the data members of the properties of the class? Rectangle.
Length, breadth.
Length and breadth are of which type?
Int.
Okay, you can choose int, length, and then breadth. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I want to create the constructor for the rectangle. How can I do that?
Same name as
Construct.
class name.
What is the class name?
Rectangles.
So I will simply define rectangle of open bracket, close bracket. And then I am supposed to initialize. Whenever I am creating new rectangle, it is going to be 10 length and then breadth is 5. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what are the methods that what are the services that I would like to offer for this rectangle?
Get length, get breadth.
Get length, get breadth, set length,
set breadth.
set breadth,
Reset
then
length.
area, and
Perimeter.
then
Perimeter.
perimeter. Reset is not required when you are having the setup.
Okay, sir.
Usually reset, especially in the type of hardware kind of the things, you will be using that set resets. Okay. Now, what is for the get length, do you have any parameters that are to be passed? For getting length, what is the length? Do you need to pass any parameters? To find out what is the length, do I have to pass any parameters? Any arguments are required? Do we need any arguments?
No, sir.
So simply nothing. But what this get length will return?
10.
What is the length of the rectangle, right?
Yes, sir.
So here I am supposed to return length. Length is of which type?
Int.
So the return type should be int, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand how I mean how I am developing the code? You are supposed to observe that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then for get breadth, you just tell me.
Int
Int get breadth.
get breadth.
First of all, you just identify. Do you need any arguments to be passed?
Yes. Return breadth.
Do you need to
Okay.
pass any arguments?
No, sir.
No. So leave it and then try to write on code. What is that?
Return breadth.
Return breadth.
breadth. Breadth is of which type?
Int.
Int.
So I am just including that int get breadth. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now for set length, what is the functionality set length that you are expecting? You will pass a length value and then you are going to assign that length value, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So if you want to pass, you are supposed to pass one parameter, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So I am defining that like an int L, okay?
Okay, sir.
Open bracket, close bracket. And then what I am going to do, I am going to assign this L to,
Length.
so simply length equal to L,
L.
right?
Yes, sir.
Are we returning any value?
No.
Return L.
Are we returning any value?
No,
No
sir.
need to return anything.
Yeah.
While you are
Directly we are
setting,
assigning.
so simply return type should be. When you are not returning anything, return type should be.
Void, sir.
Void type. Now, can you tell me what is the method definition for the set breadth?
Breadth is equals to B.
Breadth equal to B, but it is supposed to be passed as an argument, right?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Int B.
Int B.
int B, and then
Void set breadth.
yes, void set breadth.
Set.
Now you have defined so many methods. You just tell me what is the return type of the main method? What is the argument that main method is taking?
No argument, sir.
Huh?
String.
String array, right?
Yes, sir.
Here it is int L. Here it is int B, right? Here it is string array. String array. If you are not able to figure out, then it will be a big task. Okay, now for area, you just tell me. For area, do we need to pass any arguments?
Yes, sir.
Why? What are those?
Length and breadth.
They are already available here, na? Length and breadth. You need not to pass anything.
Okay, sir.
Simply return length
Into breadth.
into breadth, right?
Yes, sir.
And then if you multiply this, what should be the return type?
Int.
That's it. Int area. Now, can you tell me what is the method definition for the perimeter?
Return.
Return perimeter. How do you calculate?
2 into length plus
2 into length plus
breadth.
Breadth.
breadth. That's it. Semicolon. Right. Now what is the return type?
Int.
Int.
That's it. How many lines of the code we wrote? Till now we wrote 92 lines of the code. Everything is known to you, right?
Yes.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So get a habit of writing, plenty of code lines. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, how to develop the code? Do you understand? Are you getting some idea?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the next thing is the creating the object. In order to create the object, syntax is class name space object name equal to new class name of. Okay, this new class name of is nothing but the constructor, new constructor, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall we do that? Can you declare one object for temperature sensor? Shall we create an object for the temperature sensor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how to create object for the temperature sensor? You just tell me.
Class name, object name, and
Class name space object
yes,
name
object name and
equal to new constructor, right?
constructor. Yes, sir.
Any doubts? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Now I want to create a new temperature sensor, or I want to purchase a new sensor. Tell me how to create. What am I supposed to give? What is the class name to which I am creating the object? Still having doubt? I want to create object for which class?
Temperature sensor.
So great. So the class name must be
Temperature sensor.
space. I want to create one sensor T1 equal to
New class
equal
name.
new. What is the class name?
Temperature sensor.
That's it. So one object has been successfully created. Okay.
Yes, sir.
With which I can access both the data members as well as in methods. Both the data members as well as in methods. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, for example, initially I want to initialize this temperature to be 5.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then now I want to read what is the temperature. How to read what is the temperature? How to get what is the T1's temperature?
Using scanner class.
No. Using dot operator, using the member access operator, using member access
Operator.
which is nothing but the dot.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, what are the methods inside this temperature sensor? What are the methods? Get temperature.
Get temperature and reset temperature.
Reset are the methods, right?
Yes, sir.
Suppose if I want to access them, T1 dot
Get temperature.
get temperature. Suppose if I want to reset,
T1 dot reset.
suppose if I want to directly access temp,
T1 dot temp.
do you understand
Yes, sir.
how to access? Now, for example, I want to create an object for rectangle. You just tell me how to create an object for the rectangle.
Rectangle. R1.
R1
Equals to new
equal to new rectangle.
rectangle. Open bracket, close bracket.
That's it. Now, suppose if I want to get what is the area of the rectangle R1.
T1 dot. Sorry. R1 dot area.
R1 dot area. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's it. Now, I would like to access what is the temperature using the T1, right?
Yes, sir.
How to access that? I want to read what is the temperature from using the temperature. T1 dot
temp.
No, it's not temp. It is T1 dot
Get temperature.
which method? Get temperature is method which will help us to calculate what is the temperature. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now what I'm going to do, I will simply display that.
System.out.print.
T1 dot get temperature. Okay.
Okay, sir.
After this, what I'm doing, I want to reset temperature sensor. How can I reset the temperature sensor?
System.out.print.
No. How to reset? Directly?
T1.reset.
Excellent. T1 dot reset. That itself is enough. Who is 34? Very good. T1 dot reset. After that, again, suppose if we read what is the temperature and then display. First, what is the value that it will display? Just tell me.
First, only the temperature, sir. After resetting,
No. First, which value you will get?
Get temperature.
What is the value that you will be getting?
5.
5.
5. And then second time, which
Reset.
value you will print?
0.
Second value, what you will get after reset?
0, sir.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand how is it operating?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts, any question?
No, sir.
Shall I save this and then let us compile? Java C. Now just tell me how many class files are there in this folder? Are there any class files in this folder?
Yes, sir.
Are there any class files in this folder? Only one .java file is there, right?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So now I am trying to compile this. Java C class demo. How many classes are there in my program, in our program? How many classes are there in our program? Totally?
3. Sir.
3.
One is temperature
Temperature
sensor, second
sensor,
one
rectangle.
is
Rectangle and
rectangle,
and
and
class
then third one is
demo.
in class demo, right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Now let us compile this code and check what is happening. Okay. Now let me show you what are the files that are created. How many files have been created?
4.
What are those? No. Only 3 files have been created. Already
Yes,
class
sir.
demo
Class
dot
demo
Java is
dot
there.
Java.
What are those 3?
Class demo dot class. Rectangle
Whatever
dot
the
class.
whatever the classes that we have created, it is going to create those classes, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, which program we are executing? Which program? No. Class demo.
Okay,
How
sir.
does that know? How does that know it is to be executed? Because among all these 3, only class demo dot class is having main method, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Do we have in any other methods? Do you have that main method?
No.
No, sir.
So that is the reason why we are supposed to name the main method class name should be same as in program name. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Java space class demo.
Demo.
Now, since this class demo is having the main method, it will execute. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Now, what is the expected output? Tell me. Expected output. What is the expected output? What is the code that we write? First, we read the temperature value and then display that, right?
Yes, sir.
And then which value I will be obtaining?
5 and 0.
0.
5 and then 0, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts, any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Now, but I'm not getting a real feeler, right? I didn't get feel like really I did read something, right?
Yes.
So what I'm going to do, I'm creating one random object. How to create? Import java.util.random. Okay. Otherwise, java.util.star. Do you remember this package? Where did we use? In the scanner class, we have used it, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For accessing the scanner class, we have used it, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, hence, what shall we do? We are supposed to create an object for that, right? Scanner class object. How can I create a random class object? Tell me. Suppose my class name is random. Then how can I create object for the random class? Suppose my class name is temperature sensor. How did I create the object for the temperature sensor? Temperature sensor space
object
name equal to new temperature sensor, right?
Yes, sir.
Now the class name is random. You just tell me how can I create object? Random space R1 equal to new random
bracket.
That's it. Okay.
Yes,
now
sir.
it is having one method and temp equal to R1 dot next float. Okay. R1 dot next float. This method is available in which class?
Random.
So if you want to access any method of the random class, you are supposed to use this
R1.
So R1 dot next float. It will return some random floating value, right?
Okay, sir.
And then I am multiplying that with 1000. Okay. Why I did that, I will tell you later. For the time being. So what I am doing, I am creating one random floating number and assigning that to the temperature, and that will be in the range of 1000, and then returning that value. Now, shall we execute the same code?
Yes, sir.
Again, I made some changes, hence I am supposed to recompile, and then I am supposed to execute that. So earlier, what is this? What is the value?
5.
5 and 0.
No. Earlier, 5 and 0. Now, it is 247
and 823.
823.
Why? Because
We have included random class.
Random.
every time we read, a new temperature has been given, right?
Okay, sir. Yes.
Shall I execute one more time? We will get different value.
Yes, sir.
One more time, we will get different value.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall
Yes.
I read that for 10 times? And then check what will happen?
Yes.
How to repeat this statement? You just tell me. How to repeat a statement? How to repeat any statement for 10 times? How to repeat any statement for 10 times? What do we need to, use here? Suppose if you want to repeatedly execute a statement.
Loop, sir.
Loop, I am supposed to use the loop. Which loop is best fit? Whether it is a counter control loop or event control loop. Counter control loop or event control loop?
Counter control loop.
Counter control loop. Why? Because well in advance I know how many times I want to repeat this, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell me how, for in I equal to 0, I less than
10.
I plus I am going to read this, right? Read and then display, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Shall I run this code?
Yes, sir.
So now how many times it will read and then display? How many
10
times it will read?
10 times.
10 times. You got the 10 different values?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Okay, but I want to read the temperature for every second, not at once. I want to read it for every second. In that case, I am going to include one small line of the code. You just remember, later we can discuss about that. Okay, try thread dot sleep, and then I'm passing 1000 semicolon, catch, interrupted, exception IE, open bracket, closing bracket. That's it. I'm just including this line. And then now let us check what will happen. Compile, run. Now, do you observe something? What is happening?
Yes, sir.
For every second, a new value is coming.
Do you understand
Yes.
how the real-time projects will work?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is how it will work, right? What it is, suppose you want to write down one logic here. Suppose if continuously for 3 times, if the temperature is greater than 400, continuously for the 3 times, I am supposed to raise an alert. I can write down the code logic over here, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Do you got my point?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Any doubts, any questions?
No,
No,
sir.
That is how the real project will work. Okay. Suppose there is an ICU monitoring system. How many sensors do we require? One BP sensor, one temperature sensor, and then one glucose sensor, right?
Yes, sir.
And then every 1 second you will read all these parameters. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
You will create different sensors, and then you will create. Suppose I want to have 4 heartbeat sensors. How many objects I am supposed to create? With one object I can read
1,
1. With 4 objects,
4.
4.
4 different heartbeats. 4 different
Oh.
places I can read, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You got it?
Yeah, sir.
How it will work?
Yes, sir.
The bank account, I will be having only one class. I will be having only one class. For maintaining 1000 account holders information, how many objects do I need to have?
1000.
1000 objects. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
For all these things, common attributes are referred in the class. Okay?
Okay, sir.
To maintain the data of individuals, you are supposed to create a new object.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So, what is the thing that we discussed? What is a class? What is an object? How to identify the data members and then methods, and then how to write down the constructor, and then how to use membership operator to access either data members and then methods. Okay.